I play a character called Clint, who has moved back to the small town of Fort Chicken, where he's from, to effectively earn some extra money, we come to understand, because he's trying to write his first novel. And he takes a job subbing at the local school, the school that he went to, his elementary school. And we ultimately realized that there were some other motives behind that as well, particularly a young teacher named Lucy, played by Allison Pill. What sort of defines Clint is at this point in his life where he's, you know, his aspirations to be a writer have sort of met a potential dead end. He's really obsessed with this notion. It's probably like a childhood dream of his. And he's still kind of holding on to that dream despite the fact that there may have been some bumps along the road. The film is basically about a group of teachers who are stuck, who end up getting stuck in their school when a virus outbreak occurs amongst the students of the school. And they come to realize that this virus only affects in its most horrific way children who have not gone through puberty. And the way that it manifests is it turns them into sort of rabid, zombie-like creatures. In some ways it sort of lends itself to being a comedy more than anything, because the very name sort of evokes an old exploitation film from the 70s or 80s. So Lee ended up co-writing it with Ian Brennan of Glee. And we kind of thought that was such an amazing marriage between Ian's sort of comedy chops, the wonderful writing that he does for that show, and with Lee, you know, his sort of horror pedigree is so extraordinary. We saw and Insidious. We were just kind of super enthusiastic about the two of them collaborating on this concept. The cast is awesome. The cast is really, really wonderful. It's a joy to come to work every day. Nassim, Allison, Rain, Jack, Lee, Ian as well has made it into the film as the acting principal, vice principal Sims. It's great. I think it felt really good immediately, which isn't always the case. It's always kind of a special joy when you meet everyone for the first time and it already feels comfortable. And when we had our table read, which was the Wednesday before we started shooting on the Monday, it was the first time that I had met everybody, and there was such a great feeling in the room immediately, and a sense of comfortability and enthusiasm, equal enthusiasm from everybody involved. And that just carried on into the first day of work, and it's been that way ever since. It has, you know, the characterization of the Cooties kids has elements that are familiar to people who know the zombie kind of construction or genre, but it differentiates in that they are kind of almost like hyper children in a way. They take great glee in playing with, it was funny, I was hearing Josh describe it the other day where he was like, you know, kids like to play with jacks and marbles and jump rope. Well, the Cooties kids like to play with your eyeballs, and they want to play with your insides and with the same sort of glee, which I think is kind of wonderful.